Go ahead, you have the floor.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to have a talk about the novel tools that have been developed within the Fidogene project to make more efficient livestock. I am here on behalf of Jaap van Milchen, I am going to try to do as best as possible. Fidogene is about livestock efficiency, but maybe we should have a look at what is efficient livestock actually. In the past, it was considered to be the weight of a feed, the weight gain of animals over feeds, but the concept may be a little bit broader, considering also the products that are issued from the animals. It can be an amount of lean meat, it can be an amount of interesting fatty acids. The efficiency may also be found as an economical output or as an environmental output. So you see there are many possibilities to measure the efficiency of livestock. And in the new meaning, we think that efficiency of livestock might be more a question of adaptation of animals to the feeds and to the environment. And as you see in this image of these cute pandas, these animals were originally carnivorous, but they have to thrive in an environment where they only find bamboos. So they have to eat 20 kilos bamboos a day. They are not at all feed efficient, so they poo 40 times a day. But they are very efficient at thriving in this poor condition. So we were inspired in Fidogene by the example of these pandas, and we think that we can improve the efficiency of livestock and the sustainability of monogastric production system by adapting the feed, the animals, and the feeding techniques. Fidogene is an European research project funded since 2015. It will end in 2020. We have 23 partners, among which 22 from Europe and 1 Chinese. There is 8 academic institutions involved in the project and 15 industries. And we received an amount of 10 million budget. The objective of the Fidogene project are considering, in Fidogene we have 3 words. There are the feed, the genetics, and A, which means the link which we try to do between the feeding and the genetics. And we try to do it throughout modeling, throughout precision feeding system, and throughout the sustainability assessment of the whole innovations. The objectives of the Fidogene project are to produce novel feeds, novel feed protein that would be not or less in competition with the food, and also to find novel processes that would upgrade the existing protein that are available for livestock. For genetic, we try to identify novel traits that indicative of feed efficiency and robustness that could be used as a selection criteria to make animals that would do better with feeds that may be worse. And for the traits, model, and feeding techniques, we try to appreciate in the sense of giving value to the variation among animals. We try to develop precision feeding techniques and estimate the overall sustainability of our innovations. In Fidogene, it is all about taking advantage of variation. To take advantage of variation, it is first necessary to observe the variation that exists in the feeds, in the animals, and in the environment. So we collect a lot of data. This is about big data in the project. We collect them to be able to analyze all this data and to be able to understand the underlying mechanism of variation. So once we get enough data, we are able to make data-driven models that allow prediction and the quantification of interaction and of the variation. And last, when we have variation, it could be very interesting to be able to control this variation, and we can do that throughout new technologies like precision feeding and also new ways of breeding. For the novel feed ingredients, there are three main types of outputs. The first type is the creation of protein from green biomass, and it is now at a semi-industrial level of production. It is also looked for new processing technologies that could apply to oil mills. There are technologies for soybean meal and for rapeseed meal. And a third point is the development of new assessment methods that are able to characterize in real time the feed, but also the nutritive value of the feed throughout the near-infrared spectra. Professor Knut-Erik Bark-Knudsen will speak more in details about these 3 points. The other point in Feedogene is to identify novel traits that are indicative of feed efficiency in order to have novel feeding techniques and breeding strategies. There are many disciplinary areas that are involved in the research of these new traits, and also many different techniques that are used to identify these traits. So we have an assessment of behavior and welfare, an assessment of individual intake patterns for animals so that we can identify some traits. And for the digestive and the metabolic efficiency, it has been interesting to make relation between the digestibility markers and the parameters from gut health, the microbiota composition, and also the metabolome. This is a slide about the data-driven models. The point is that when we started Feedogene, there were not a lot of digestion models for monogastric animals. There were only about pigs. And moreover, these models were not always very easy to use or very easy to figure what they can do for people. So there was in France a first digestion model called InRapport, who can say what will happen with the nutrient in pigs' performance under standard conditions. So in Feedogene, it was decided to improve this and to make a tool that could integrate models of feed use and of animal response to nutrient supplies in terms of digestion, in terms of growth of animals, in terms of protein and fatty acid deposition in the animal. And this should be done not only, there is a mistake in my, this should be done not only in pigs, but also in poultry. So the image is not good. It should have been the image of a poultry, from pig to poultry. The Feed Utility is a software that has been demonstrated last October in Budapest. It also takes into account the individual variation of animals, and it is able to detect environmental challenges. Another feature of this tool is that it is able to take the user own values. So it is possible to put the on-farm data in the model so that everybody who has a big farm can use it. Another aspect of Feedogene is the aim to control the individual variation throughout the precision livestock feeding. For a group of animals, it is very often seen that for the same average daily gain, the feed intake may be very variable. And as well, in different animals, the digestibility of lysine is maybe very variable. So when you feed an animal, you never know if you are going to feed an animal that has a high digestible lysine or a low, and then either you lose money by putting too much lysine in your diet, or either you lose money because you don't feed enough the animal. So even at individual level, the variation of feed intake may be very huge, and it would be very nice to be able to predict what an animal will eat on the day after. And that is what is proposed throughout the management tools for precision livestock feeding. In Feedogene, some intelligent and communicating feeders have been developed. They are able to weigh the animals, they are able to give the amount of feed intake, they are able also to communicate environmental conditions in the farm. They transfer this information to the controlling module, which stores the data, the raw data, and the controlling module is in communication with the decision support system where the value will be curated. So there will be cleaned, there will be an handling of the missing data, and they will be fulfilled. And then the end user is able to put some target objectives, saying what should be the final body weight, or you can say also the nature of the diet, if it is low or high protein content. And then the system is able, on the basis of this information, to predict the body weight for the day after, and thus the requirement of feed and the determination of the amino acid requirements. Last but not least, with all the innovation that have been proposed in Feedogene, we intend to make a sustainability evaluation. So first, it had to be, we had to identify the sustainability indicators, and it was done through a Delphi study. And all innovation, or most of the innovation proposed in Feedogene, have been assessed in a life cycle assessment and in a cost-benefit analysis. And at the end of the program, it is supposed to make an evaluation by the consumer and the farmer. Thus, we will have an overall sustainability appraisal of the project. In conclusion, at this stage, Feedogene already provides some tools to increase the efficiency and the robustness of livestock production system while making them more sustainable. In Feedogene, we saw and we take benefit that there is no more one size fits all, but variation is key to progress. And last, Feedogene is a research project, but it is not necessary that stakeholders take the novel tools that we propose and make them to real life. I would like to thank you for your attention. If you want to go further, you can go to the website Feedogene. But if you want to have fun with Feedogene, you can also have a look at this video. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Valerie, for your presentation. Maybe we can give her an applause. Thank you. I think Saphir is a good example of a joint project between breeding and animal health. Feedogene is a good example of cooperation between breeding and feeding. I think this is an important issue because all the European projects are multi-stakeholder projects, multi-actor projects. You have to work together, and I think this joint session is even more an example of joining forces. One question I would like to raise to you is that maybe I'm completely wrong, but I have the impression that when the results of Saphir are there, they can be implemented immediately. For me, Fetogene is always a little bit more future-oriented. Is that correct? It's more difficult to implement because it depends on incentives. And are there enough incentives to implement results of Fetogene?
I think Fetogene is still at the TRL level, at the TRL 6 level. And to be commercial, for example, we should be at 9. So there is still a lot to do with the industry. So that's the reason why I said at the end that we are looking for stakeholders that could be interested in going further, for example, with the feed utility gene tool. It would be nice that people can handle with their own values the models, and they can say, well, I am going to do this thing or this thing with that. I think it's, and for precision feeding, it is the same. Yeah. The software is a prototype, but it needs people take it, understand it, and start using it.
Yeah. So I hear you saying it's a call upon the industry, especially the feeding industry, to participate as a stakeholder in the project, because I know that the breeding industry is participating in the project from the pig sector and from the poultry sector, but there could be more industry from the feeding sector in the project. I think that's important for future implementation.